In this video, we'll read and write CSV files using a plugin in C# and VB.NET. Stay tuned until the end of the video, where I'll give you some tips on how to make the most of the plugin. Hey guys, and welcome to Dual Coding. For this video I'll use WPF to give our app a visual interface, but you can of course do everything in this video using a console app instead. All the code in the video is available from the link in the description down below. I'll be writing this in C#, but there's a VB.NET translation available too. Let's get the application set up first of all. I've got some buttons along the bottom of the window to respectively read, write and edit a CSV file, and I've also added in a data grid which will show our CSV file as a table once it's been opened. To help us read and write CSVs, we'll need to use a plugin, so go to Tools in Visual Studio, NuGet Package Manager, and then Manage NuGet Packages for Solution. Make sure you've installed the CSV helper plugin here. Let's go to the code behind. I've added in some imports here for the plugin and some dialogues that we'll use here to open and save files. I've also gone ahead and added in some event listeners for each of the buttons, and down below I've defined a person class that we'll use to describe the data in the CSV file. So let's start off by reading the CSV file. I've got a CSV file that contains some random user data with string, integer and boolean field types. This will then get mapped to the person class I've defined in the code previously. At the end of the video, we'll cover how you can customize this mapping further, specifying names of fields and so on, but for now let's start by reading in the file. When the user selects a CSV file, we'll use a stream reader passing in the file name and CSV reader provided by the plugin. We can then use the getRecords function, providing the person class type, and this will create an enumerable collection of all our records in a CSV file, mapped accordingly to the properties we defined. I've set this to the data grid's item source, so let's give it a go and test it out. Selecting the file I showed you earlier, and there we are, the data has been read correctly. It's even added checkboxes for the boolean property we have, suggesting the typing is working as expected. But if we don't know what data will be in the CSV file, we can instead use getRecords dynamic and access custom property names. Let's map each record to the name property and output this in a message box. And there we are, we've now been able to access one of the properties without having to create a custom class. We'll move on now and write to a CSV file. I've gone ahead and added in a list of people that we'll use to write to a new CSV file. We'll cover how to append to a file later on. But for now, when the user clicks OK on the Save File dialog, we'll now use a stream writer and CSV writer, similar to what we did earlier. We can then use write records this time, passing it the list of people. Let's test it out. And if I open this new file, you can see the records have been added correctly. Let's try and read this file. Now that works, let's finish off by editing the CSV file and covering some more things you can do with the plugin. I've added in a list containing one new person that I'm going to append to an existing CSV file. We'll use the open file dialog again, but this time we'll need to set up some config that says not to write a header record, because that should already be present in the file. We'll then create a file stream, set on the file mode to append, and write to the file as before. Let's test it out. And if I read in the file, that should work too. Now let's say you had another file like so, which is formatted in a slightly different way. For example, the field names have changed. There's even one with a question mark in it. And now we're using yes and no values instead of true and false. So let's see how we can modify our person class to account for this new format. We can specify the names of fields using the name decorator. So I'll add this in for these two fields because the property names here don't match the ones in the CSV file. You might have noticed that the email field has been removed from the file. Let's say we want to give everyone this default email, and we'll use the ignore decorator here so that this field won't be read or written to. If we don't know the name of a field, we can also use the index decorator to say that this property will always be at index 2. And lastly, for our boolean field, we can specify what value should be mapped to true and which should be mapped to false. In this case, yes is true and no is false. Let's test this all out and append a record to our newly formatted CSV file. And there we are, that works as intended. If you're looking for an example app, I've created a suite of WPF desktop apps in C# that are all open source. I've also made a language insight built with Eleventy that's 100% free. Check them both out in the description down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to keep up to date with the latest from Zool Coding. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.